Hello. 3 minutes early. How are you doing, mate? I've got a nice cup of coffee. So what we're gonna do today? I think before going to sleep, I was messing around with the water, and now we have only water, and it's looking somewhat okay, kind of thing. But maybe I'm spending a bit too much time on the water itself. So the main issue here is that the water should be drawn in the order of visibility. So maybe whenever I'm generating the draw instruction, the drawing arguments, I might have to do a sort. So sorting them from the point of view should fix the issue. Maybe. Yeah, I'm gonna try that last thing, and then I'll need to proceed to move on, because otherwise we're gonna get stuck in here, and we still have to do plenty of things like physics and, well, texture splits. So first thing that I want to do is the textures, and I've got some of the samples here. So kids drawn some of these. Oh, you can't see that. These little textures, and that's okay. That's super cute. So I'm gonna use them. That's for the water. Then we have stones, trees. That'll be fun. All right. So how to sort these objects? So this is a vector of chunks, and they are they're just a vector, and I'm pretty sure I can sort them based on something, which is the distance from the sector they are in. But first I need to check whether chunk, bring me to chunk, bring me to chunk. Seriously? Can I not navigate directly here? Oh, come on, that should be so obvious. Why are you not navigating to there? Oh yeah, I remember now. So all I need to do is to click on it, and then, no, wait, what? Open documentation. You telling me nobody has ever thought of like clicking on it? Offset. Oh, come on, that's so obvious. Oh, okay, whatever. So I'm gonna go here and then navigate to the type. Mesh, okay. We do have the sector, so I can sort them by the distance. Oops. I can sort them by the distance from the camera. Update chunks, and if chunks is empty, I guess we can do it here. Do it ranges. I can probably use ranges. Maybe I can get some help. Use ranges to sort a vector using what? Projection or a lambda? I don't know. Let's see. Stood ranges sort. Okay. Less. Can you sort? How can I sort? Use second sort. GLM IVEC based on sort based on GLM VEC3 member. Well, it should be the distance, yeah, actually. And it is to the tuple. What is this? Lexicologically. Lexicologically. Oh, okay. Yeah, that just means. Oh. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. You can do one after the other one. Damn it, why I'm so allergic? My nose doesn't work properly. I wish I had a working nose. And it already changes my voice. Okay, so lexicologically. Okay, that's an interesting word. So lexicologically probably means that it's like you do with the words. So when you're looking into the dictionary, then you're doing it lexicologically. Okay, that makes sense. But what I want, okay, sort, that's E length, E pause. Yeah, that's this is what I'm looking for. So that's gonna be sort, stable sort, partial sort. Oh, we got some options here. I'm going with the normal one, which is probably falling back to quick sort. And that's entities. So we need to sort to the chunks. And what's next? What is that? What is that empty parameter? Predicate and projection. Okay. Okay, I see now. So we got the predicate, which could be what? Sort We could just use the predicate. Okay, so this one does it both. Or I guess we can use something like stud range is less and give the predicate. They will likely lead to the same thing, but I'm gonna try going fancy at this point. So let's use the less object, and then we got the projection. And the projection, we need the projection because so this is const, and the projection returns yeah, just like that. Sector. Okay, no, that's wrong. Because sector doesn't have a less. So this is all garbage. Okay. What the heck did you just do? I was Dude, what are you doing? I don't know. My mouse is going bonkers. I would have to replace this. It kind of bothers me because it's still working. Well, I mean, not really working. It's all broken. It fell so many times off the table. And I fixed it with quick glue so many times. It's time to let it go. As you may have noticed from my home-crafted microphone, I don't like to e-waste much. And I tend to keep things that are working for longer than they should. Not that they should be wasted anyway. Rangers, so I want the option where I do the comparison. So that's going to be a lambda that takes the parameter to const chunks. Let's be explicit. That's going to be a chunk C1 and then const chunk C2. And what we want is that no, wait. The distance between, oh, okay, but maybe then the previous version was fine because the distance is not between them. Okay, so I think we can make this work with the less, and all we need is to pass a reference to this, and what we want is the GLM the distance. I think squared is also fine, or the length. No, not the length. Squared length. Distance 2. Is this distance squared? It's just distance 2. It must be distance squared. Is this thing distance squared? I'm gonna treat it as a Google. Return the squared Euclidean distance. Okay, yeah, that's or length 2. Okay, length 2. Yeah, let's use distance because it's the distance we want, not the length of vector. And I'm pretty sure this lives in GTC. No, it doesn't live in GTC. Where is it? Cannot resolve. Must be in GTX then. Okay, it is in GTX. So the distance between that and the camera position. Wait, what? Where is the camera position? Oh yeah, now it's stuck inside the player structure. So that's probably player camera position. Okay, that makes sense now. And what's wrong? We got the distance, return distance, and what is this? Okay, the closing of the lambda. It looks alright to me. What is wrong? Lambda auto candidates does not satisfy the concept bidirectional iterator. What does that even mean? Seriously, what does it mean? Operator, borrowed, operator. Oh, well, yeah, who knows what this means? Candidates, random access iterator, sentinel, static transfer. Substitution failed due to constraint. It's not satisfy random access iterator. Why not? It's a vector. What's wrong with it? You can't copy. But that's why I'm using a const reference. That's the whole purpose of it, right? I don't know. Let's see if I can do it using the explicit lambda comparison. C2. So that is something like this, but better. So this needs to be a, well, I'm just gonna say greater than 0, and this is a bool. Is this good? That's a bool. Oh, everything seems to be fine now. Okay. Return. Why do I have to specify? Well, isn't this a bool already? Weird. Is convertible to return type bool is not satisfied. No, this is not convertible to bool. What? I mean, this is a boolean. Oh, come on, stop doing the dragging of everything. So this looks like a boolean to me. Okay, I'm tired of this boolean. This booleanness. And I think that I want to do const dist1, and that is a float. Dist1 is that, and distance2. Maybe it's even more efficient. That's distance2. And GTX. I wonder if we can do a SIMD operation at this point and have everything blazingly fast. How can I use SIMD with GLM? I don't know, yeah, just very generic. How can I use SIMD? Can use SIMD, but it's a little bit, it's a little nuanced. Header only, type back 4. Depending on the configuration, may use SIMD instructions for math operations. So it does. So I don't really have to do anything, I guess. It just does it. Cool. Okay. For tight inner loops, physics massive work, handwritten intrinsics, or libraries like Eigen or XSIMD may be faster. Okay, so it's not guaranteed to always kick in GLM. Well, whatever. I don't really care now. So all I need to do now is to return a boolean that compares, and this should sort based on the camera position. Will it compile? Because here GLM is not very happy when you give it different types, and it's probably going to complain about, yeah, distance. There's no matching overload. And I'm sure this is because I have to convert this to a GLM back 3. That's it. It should work now. This is gonna work at any time. And my coffee got cold. Okay. Let's see what... Oh, wow. This is disgusting. This is awful. Why is it doing this? Ugh. What? Okay, this was not expected at all. What is happening? Is it not stable? That's because it's no, that's because what? There's no reason for it to do that. It's not like I'm doing multi-threading anymore. But I'm changing the I'm changing the buffers while it's probably still using them. And that's why you need buffering. Yeah, buffers buffering. So just like with a swap chain, you need to do the whole operations in multiple buffers and then just swap them. Just swap them around, and that should give you more time for the current in-flight frame to be completed before you touch the if you update the memory while the previous frame is still rendering, then that's not gonna work. And that is fine. Like this is gonna lead to the best performance anyway. But we can put barriers. But if you put barriers, then you're kind of resisting to the good things of the pipeline. So you're just kind of offsetting things, and so right now we have this chunk of work, which is our current frame, and let's say we have computed. Is this even visible? Blue, green, maybe green is better. So we have our chunk update that happens here, and then we submit it to the GPU, and the GPU is gonna use it here. because it does things and blah blah blah. But in the meantime, as soon as we submitted it, we are starting to work on it. So it starts from blue, and then we work on it, and we transform, we sort, we do all the CPU stuff. And in the meantime, after submitting, we start working on a new frame. We do our work, and then issue the copy command. And I need to be green. Oh yeah, I forgot the copy command. So we submit the work, there is a copy command here, and then the draw happens there. For the next frame, which happens here, we do the same. We prepare the buffers, they be executed here, and then they'll be drawn here. Okay, and there is some work inside, and we are sure that, like in a perfect world, this works great. No, what did I do? Okay, I lost my note. In a perfect world, this will be okay, because this is all good and it works. But really, if this is going to be used there and then we modify it again, this is just gonna end up messing with the previous frame. But what we can do is that instead of having this very nice parallel thing, which works most of the times because we are not doing all of these updates, and then it's super parallel, and you can see that the frame render time is this basically. But now if you put synchronization between these two, this is gonna look like this, and if this will be synchronized here, everything will be offsetted. No, I lost it again. Okay, never mind. You get the idea. Maybe I should use the good old paint. But I'm pretty sure you got an idea. So let's not do that. And instead, can I have multiple buffers? So what the effort of having multiple buffers would look like? Got different shared pointers. And maybe hard coding 3. Wait, where's the name? Maybe hard coding a 3 in here would solve the problem. So how many times is this referenced? We have the creation, which creates a lot of memory for it. So maybe this is not the best way. What if I instead use a different offset? That would work. Like instead of like we have the big chunk, and this is like 512 megabytes. It's like half gigs of memory allocated just for the vertex buffer, and then for this frame, I'm gonna update it here, but then I'll update it there, and until I reach a point where it doesn't fit anymore, and we go back to the beginning. I think that is much simpler to implement than creating multiple buffers. All I have to do vertex buffer offset is just used to this guy here, which I have declared but never actually used. So I was using it earlier, but now I don't think I'm using it anymore. Okay, that's great. So whenever we are finished with the update, we will just increment this guy and use the offset, but then I have to apply the offset to the draw calls as well. Yeah. So the vertex, the first vertex will be this offset here. Or oh, yeah, this is otherwise I could just have a buffer offset in here. So this is probably the offset. Yeah, there's an offset here. I could use the offset. Current offset. It's not multi-threaded, so it's gonna pick the latest offset that I put. So that's that should work. Okay, I'm gonna keep this as is. Well, no. No, because now it's just offsetting to whatever we just used, and this is a current offset, should not be. Yeah, we need the current offset, which then needs to be offsetted. Let's see. So the offset will be computed here. After we do the sort, then we compute the offset based on the previous offset. No, we don't need the previous offset, we need the previous size. And what is the previous size? It's the draw count, okay? So that is the draw count. So it's a current offset plus the draw count and the draw count is just a draw count. It's not the number of vertices. We need to keep track of the buffer size. Yeah, the previous buffer size, which is going to be 0. Okay, this will fix both of the problems, because I was thinking that at the beginning we don't want any offset. So this is vertex buffer size. Okay, this now looks reasonable. not offset, but size, and we increase by the size, and then we check if vertex buffer size, well, yeah, that's not the best name, but we gonna check if the vertex buffer offset is greater or equal. We don't even know. Well, we know the last. Okay. I think we can do this check afterwards. Because here we will set the vertex buffer size to be the size. Okay, so we have the size, and then we compute we do the check here. So before using the offset, before actually using that offset, I'm going to do a quick check to see if the offset plus size is less than the vertex buffer size. What is the size? Do we not have a size? Buffer. Maybe the buffer dot. Oh, buffer. Okay, what is buffer? Oh, it's just a VK buffer. No, never mind. What is the size of this guy? So we have the size, but there's no getting of the size, right? Okay, I've never needed so far. I've never had the need, but I do now. So no discard. Nope. I need the size, which is a VK device size. And that's going to be size. Okay. Come on. Back. Okay, wait. That was it. So the buffer size. So if we are breaking the bounds, then we go back to 0. So let's do a bounds check. That should be it. No, wait, we are just forgetting to use the offset. And the offset is in bytes, so we better have this guy be a bit VK device size. Oops, what does that? VK device size. Okay. Vertex buffer offset. We should have all we need to send it to the GPU. Let's go, baby. Given it compiles. And it runs. Oh no, my copy's over. Okay. Okay. Wait, what? What? Why are you still doing that? All of my effort. Why are you still doing that? Okay, I know what's happening here. It wasn't the vertex buffer. Ugh. It's probably the uniform buffers. So where? Uniforms. Update the uniforms. No. Well, I can apply the same for the uniform buffers. No, I can't do that because I only have one set. But wait, where? So the uniform is getting the data. Uniform object. This is returning the uniform. And how many objects does it have? Max sets. How many sets does this have? So I set it to 1, right? But maybe this is where I can create more than one set. And have a set for each frame. So let's say I give 3 sets, and then this is going to create everything is needed. So I have the binding. I'm not sure it will create the uniform object. No, it's not going to create the uniform object. Max sets. No, actually, it is going to create the uniform object, but it needs to be max objects and times max sets. So this is reasonable. We have enough buffer that we can do multiple sets. We have the buffer and the offset. We have the range. The range is fine. And the offset is, I would say, is something like this. So it's the max object times set index. So this will split into chunks the total buffer. And that should be it. That's a uniform. And all I need is to use a different set. Uniform object. So when I get the uniform object though, I'll need to specify the offset for the set. And this is probably, I'm trying to look ahead of time. And this is probably a VK device size. Uniform object offset. and we need a unit 32 set index const, and it's gonna return something like this. Where I becomes the set index. Cool. That should be it. And back to the update. So whenever we do the update, we need to specify which in-flight frames we are in. We have the frame context. Does this come with an index? Not really. So we might want to give it a frame index, or I can just hack one in here. Even though, how many did I even create? So how many sets did I create? Yeah, it depends on how many sets we have, right? This could be independent. And we have the sets. Is there a method to get the max sets? It's private. We have max objects. Let's also have max set. Which is static. Okay, max sets. So using max sets, we can say that the current set vertex in 32, that's going to be set index uniform set index. Okay, and it's gonna start from 0. And that's what I'm gonna use here. So the VK device size, I'm gonna call it offset. It will be max sets. Is this max sets? Not really. Gonna use solid flat uniform object offset for the set index. Okay, we got the offset, and we use it at draw. So that will be not the source offset, but the destination offset. Okay. What's wrong with this? is a span. Span of const u and oh boy. We need to do the pointer things. Yeah, I need to figure out how to make this thing work once and for all. So that will be our interpretation of this data, and that's it. The size. What data is in here? Is the per object buffer? So that's going to be per object buffer. And that should be the size. And we create a span out of it. Not the whole thing, right? Not the whole buffer, but rather just the little bit that we are interested into. And that's the span. Not draw count. Should be in history, okay. Cool, that's it. And then we do the arguments update. I really hope the arguments update. No, the arguments update is used straight, like right away. Hopefully. We don't have to buffer that. And the last thing that we want to do is to change the buffer index, the set index. But I want to have fun and see if this still works. And it should be successfully broken. Okay, so yeah, the behavior didn't really change much. And now we can say that the next vertex buffer, the next uniform set index is no, not again. So we don't want to do it here, do we? Because we are setting yeah, we don't want to do this here. Otherwise we can't use it later. So maybe we can start setting it in here. Or doing it after the draw, which is not my favorite option because then it's out of context. But hey, let's try it out. And the descriptor set index. Yeah, this is it's not totally out of context because it's still in use. But then it's not, it doesn't belong here. So don't want to be too picky. Oh. Wait. I forgot a piece. Yeah. This was dumb. We want to increment it, but also to wrap it around. when we reach the max set, right? Okay, we're getting there. Nice. And what? Why are you still doing this? What's the meaning? Ah. What's... What else is wrong with you? And the draw is not even working. Like it's wrong. Wait. Can I at least fix one thing? And we can call it a day. Maybe the distance check, it was wrong. Maybe if you invert that, it will work. Yeah, no. What? Oh, wait. It did something. It just did it too late. Hey. But now? Oh, interesting. So now the close objects are fine, but the furthest ones are not. I'm starting to think that this is because of the quicksort. Why is it even doing like this? So probably checking the distance from the sector. Okay, let me think of this. So it's checking the distance from the sector, but maybe I should check it from the center. So that would be the sector plus 0.5. Is that gonna make any difference in the algorithm? Well, it's definitely gonna make a difference in the in the computation of the distance from the camera. That's the camera position. What if I use the camera sector? Just out of curiosity. And also, can we try stable sort at this point? I feel like stable sort was the answer all along. And I just overthought the whole pipeline business. Nah, it's not. That was not it. Okay, that's that is still puzzling. Weird. By the way, shouldn't it just kick in when... No, this update chunks, it's happening every time. So it doesn't just update when there is a change. Maybe that's also the problem. I mean, I hardly think this is making things unstable because, well, let me try to use the sector. And probably needs cast to GLM back 3. you are probably going to want more cohesive system arranging per frame resources. If you are implementing frames in flight, you're going to need duplicate of way more resources. Fences, frame by... Yeah, hey, Hilligans, that is true, but that's like that's like in the theory, but then it like in practical cases it was working so far until I started doing the sorting. So that even though it's true, there are instances where everything works, and yeah, since I'm not targeting like a whole lot of devices anyway, I think I'm just getting away with testing it on the Quest. But the main issue is that can't seem to be able to sort things properly. To have a consistent behavior. Yeah, this is the infamous order-dependent transparency. One would think this should be easy, right? Because I'm just computing the distance from the center, and maybe that's not all about it. No, actually, we have multiple frames in flight, and I'm gonna go to the code that does that. So we do have a presentation callback. So this is a render code, and this guy is not aware of anything. He just thinks about rendering, but there is. So I have two different modes, which is the XR mode and the windowed mode. This is currently the windowed mode, and whenever I call for this context, I'm using the VK object, and there's the XR object. Yeah, it's a bit convoluted, but in the present call, this is where all that thing is happening. So it's gonna check for the previous frame, and it's gonna wait for it. Not the previous, but probably the previous. There might be more than one in flight. There are three, I think, because that's what the swap chain gives me. It's usually 3 frames. And then when we are sure that the one we are cycling to, so let's say we have, ooh, that's the worst square ever. Let's say these two are in flight, and we are doing this guy here, which was in flight before, but now it just dropped it. We wait for it, and we are still showing this one, and yeah, we are ahead of time, and then we will wrap around all over again. Yeah, that's where it happens, and we reset the fence. We reset the command buffer. We also have a duplicate for the command buffer, as you just specified. That's pretty much it. And then we have at submission, we send yeah, we also have the swap chain semaphore that we feed into the submit. And the present command, and we have the fences. Yeah, I mean it works. This part at least is stable and it works. And then we cycle over the semaphores and everything. It took a while to get this working, but now it's I would call it stable. And the nice thing is that in the application logics module, I don't have to care about that. So I get everything from the frame context, which is all I need. That's the buffer command that I need to use. The extent of the frame buffer, I think. I don't remember. The color image, the resolve, and yeah, everything. The frame buffer, render pass, fence. Do I even need the fence anymore? I don't remember what I'm using the fence for. Oh yeah, the fence is for the objects to be destroyed. So we also have that which happens here. So at the tick, which is before these two guys get called, we have the garbage collection, and the garbage collection is going to check for all the fences in which these objects were last being seen. No, actually, when they got destroyed. So we also have a consistency over the destruction of the buffers in terms of in-flight frames. But yeah, overall, this looks nicer, and especially when we do the render, then we just have to care about the command buffer. I think this is a duplicate. Yeah, we should not use that anymore. Right now, the rendering is very simple. So we do an update over the camera constants. That's pretty much it. A render pass setup, and we begin the render pass. We just need to set up the viewport and the scissors and that kind of stuff. We bind the pipeline. We only have one pipeline. And we draw the chunks. That's it. We draw the chunks. But I feel like this. I don't know where this is coming from. So whenever I sort, and why is it only now affecting the furthest object, right? That is puzzling. Does it need an equal? Yeah, wow, it's unstable. So there is something that makes this unstable. No, I mean, do you have to submit? Do you have multiple multiple submits? So what happens is that yeah, this is just like a concept, like in OpenGL, when you destroy an object, you are just destroying the name of an object, then it gets queued for destruction. and I have that. Yeah, it's not the universal solution, but it's just for this very tiny render so far. So it needs to be universally made at some point. And I have a pair of fence and a buffer. It's just a very simple solution. And this is used, so not just the collection, it was used somewhere. I lost it. I think I deleted it. Yeah, I was using it, but it is unused now. Yeah, because I had, instead of reusing the same vertex buffer, before I had different allocations, and whenever a chunk got out of scope, it had to remove the buffer, but the problem was again that whenever we run the CPU code, which is happening here, then we don't really know how long that this thing takes. So whenever I'm running, and maybe I'm using the buffer here, and I had validation error, so it was definitely happening. And whenever we use the buffer there is a moment where we go back to the CPU code and we say, okay, we update all the chunks, and we say, oh, we don't need that blue thing anymore, and we just like destroy it. But in the meantime, this is being used next, and then the validation error say, oh, you look at that, you are destroying something that is still in flight. So maybe the implementation is still fine, but the validation says that not every implementation is fine with this. And so what I had to do is that I'm gonna wait in this frame. I'm gonna wait for the fence, the last fence that this object. Oh no, actually, what I'm doing here, instead of destroying the object right away, I will attach a fence to it. So I'm gonna make it. I don't know. I don't have any more colors. So instead of destroying it, I'm gonna make it fenced and leave it like in there. And then at the end of this frame, it will be destroyed forever. And oops, that was supposed to be blue. Yeah, it's gonna be destroyed forever, and this is definitely after that. And I'm sure that in this frame of life, this will be destroyed. So back to the garbage code. That's what is it? What it's doing? Like it's waiting for the fence. And yeah, that's not necessarily great, but it worked for my case. Just so I don't have errors and validation errors. But what you can also do is to check whether the fence is done, and instead of waiting, you can just check if it's done, and then you can delete the object. So that's more of a polling thing. It works. Like this is, I think this is it's a good way. Like you should have all of your objects in a different queue, and then wait for well, not wait, but just check if they are done. Okay. Well, I don't know. I don't know what to do now. Maybe I can just leave it as it is. Is it the layering that's doing a poor job at rendering? So I now have multiple layers. And this is what makes it multiple layers. So this says not only the top, but also the other ones. And if I remove that, maybe it renders a bit more correctly. Just a tiny bit, not a lot. Okay, well that is something already. Okay, I think I've done enough of somehow progress, but not really. I still have that flickering issue. And I'm gonna figure it out in the next session. Gonna have to say you bye for now. I'll be back another time, another day, in another stream. Cool. Thanks for everybody that followed me today in the non very good progress, but see you next time. Bye bye.